So you think you are confused. You're not confused. You're actually terrified of the answer you already have. You keep looking for a guarantee before you take the step. But the step is the guarantee. And today we're going to get you into exactly why that is. Welcome back. My name is Julia Dars and this is Confidence. So today we're talking about your internal guidance system and specifically why you keep ignoring it. Because if you are someone who overthinks, who sits with your list and your pros and cons and your what ifs and your what maybes, I need you to hear this. That is not planning. That is not being responsible. That is a very sophisticated form of self-abandonment. And I really don't say it to make you feel bad. I say it because understanding what's actually happening in your brain and body when you overthink is what's going to set you free from it. I'm going to give you the actual formula, the step-by-step process your nervous system is actually already designed for, that gets you out of the analysis paralysis and back into forward motion. And I call it the excitement code. And by the end of this video, you will have the complete framework. So stay with me. So first, we need to redefine a word because I think most of us kind of have it wrong. And that's the word excitement. When you hear the word excitement, a lot of you immediately think jumping up and down, screaming, and some kind of dramatic calling that changes the world. And because your day-to-day life doesn't feel like that, you assume you are not excited about anything. You assume something is wrong with you. You assume you don't have a direction. That's not what excitement means, actually, in this context. Excitement is a physiological signal. It's a body signal. It's that slight pull, that small elevation of energy, that almost imperceptible yes your system gives you when you consider a specific action. It doesn't have to be frameworks. It is more like a warmth, a gravity, right? Like a quiet, oh, that. And here's what's happening neurologically. Your brain is constantly processing information at a level way below conscious thoughts. Your body, your gut, your nervous system is registering data and giving you feedback on it before your analytical brain even catches up. So the pull you feel towards something, that is information, that is signal. And most of us have been trained to dismiss it, override it, or explain it away. And here's where it gets really interesting and really frustrating. You tell yourself, I'm excited to take a nap, but I should be working on my business. So you deny the nap. You sit at your desk, you stare at the screen, and you produce nothing. And you don't rest. You're fully in limbo. And your nervous system is now dysregulated because you overridden it. What you don't know, what your analytical brain literally cannot know, is the chain of connections that nap might have unlocked for you. The idea that comes in the dream, the mental clarity that leads to the solution, the energy reset that makes the next 3 hours actually productive. You can't see the path from where you're standing, and that's the whole point. So trusting that signal, it's not irresponsible. It is trusting the intelligence of your own nervous system over the noise of the mental story you've been telling yourself. And those are two different things. So let's get into the actual formula. There are 3 parts, and we need all 3, right? Because if you leave one out, the whole thing breaks down. So part 1, act on the option with the highest excitement available to you right now. Not the excitement you wish you had. Not the excitement you think you should have. The excitement that exists in your actual reality with your actual options right now, right at this moment. You can go for a walk, you can make the phone call, you can work on the project, you can take a nap. Which one has even just a tiny bit more pull, just a degree more energy toward it? Do that. The key phrase there is available to you in this moment, because a lot of us get stuck looking at the full mountain. Well, all we need to do is just identify the next foothold. That's it. Just one foothold. So part 2, do it to the best of your ability. This means you are fully present with it. When you're doing the dishes, right, you are not catastrophizing about an email. You're doing the dishes. Wherever you've chosen to follow, you honor it fully. You treat it like it actually matters. Because here's the thing, your nervous system is watching how you treat the actions it recommends. And every time you have commit, you train your system that its signals don't lead anywhere worth going. Every time you show up fully, you're building the evidence that you can be trusted. That is how self-trust actually gets built. Not through affirmations, although they are really helpful, I gotta say, but through evidence. And if you want to see where you stand with your self-trust right now, I have the link below for the free self-trust test. Go take it now after you watch this video. So let's go to part 3. And this is one that actually breaks most people. Zero expectation of what the outcome looks like. Let me say that again, because I need you to actually hear it. You do not get to decide what result this action produces. You follow the excitement and you release the specific outcome. Now you're probably saying, but Julia, that's terrifying. I'm trying to build something. I can't just run around following impulses with no goal. Fair, and I understand that. But here's the distinction: having a direction is different from attaching to a specific outcome pathway. You can know where you want to go and still let go of insisting it has to look exactly like this, come through exactly that door, or on exactly that timeline, right? When you follow excitement and say, I'll do this because then that will happen, you kind of broke the code. You've made it conditional. You've said, I'll trust myself if it guarantees me the specific result I want. That's not trust. To me, it actually looks more than like negotiation. And you cannot negotiate with your own growth. So what happens when you attach hard to a specific outcome is that you narrow your perception. You're looking through a keyhole. You have decided that result must come through this one door. And meanwhile, your actual opportunity has walked in through that window. But you miss it because you're staring at the door. And the purpose of following excitement is not to produce the goal you think you want. It is to get you into a physiological mental state where you can perceive what you actually need. That's different. And it's so much bigger. But why is this so hard? If the code is this clear, why do we choose the suffering of overthinking over the simplicity of acting? Because there's a belief, and usually it's unconscious, that says, if I analyze every possible outcome, I can prevent bad things from happening. And your nervous system learned that vigilance equals safety. So it keeps spinning, it keeps scanning, it keeps producing more scenarios to think through. And we call this being careful or being realistic. So the very state you think is protecting you from making mistakes is actually neurologically blocking your ability to make good decisions. And here's what's brutal about it. Because your external reality tends to reflect your inner state, right? When you are vibrating at fear and scarcity, when your nervous system is in contraction, you generate more things to be anxious about. You notice more evidence of things going wrong. You attract more situations that confirm the loop. It is a self-reinforcing cycle, literally, right? So self-abandonment in this context is choosing the voice of fear in your head over the signal of your body. And every single time you override the excitement signal in favor of what you think you should be doing, you're telling your nervous system, you know what, your signals don't matter. And over time, you stop hearing them clearly. You start calling it confusion. You start thinking you don't know what you want. But you are not confused, baby. You've just been ignoring the signal for so long that you've stopped trusting it and following your excitement. Even something as small as going for a 20-minute walk proves to your nervous system that you are safe. It proves that you can receive a signal, act on it, and the world doesn't end. You accumulate evidence, and evidence becomes self-trust. And self-trust is the whole game. So here's what I want to leave you with today. Stop trying to map out the rest of your life. Your analytical brain is not equipped for that job, and it's exhausting itself trying to do that. The weight you're carrying around, all the what ifs, what hows, you can put it down. The future doesn't need you to figure it out right now at this moment. What it needs is just next 15 minutes. So look at your actual options. Not the ones you wished existed, but the one that actually exists. Which one has even a small pull toward it? Is it making tea? Is it moving your body? Is it writing one sentence? Is it calling someone? Just find the one with the most energy behind it. Even if it's small, even if it feels ridiculous, and just do that fully. And then drop the requirements that it leads to a specific predetermined outcome. And if you practice this moment to moment, not perfectly, just consistently, you will find yourself on a path that is more intricate, more aligned, and more undeniably you than anything your overthinking brain could have constructed for you. Because you won't be manufacturing the path. You'll be actually walking it. Be the person who trusts themselves enough to move without guarantee. This is where confidence lives, not in having all answers, in backing yourself up anyway. So go take that self-trust test, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.